Good morning and welcome to another Thought for the Week here at Manvers Street Baptist Church. Just a short verse for us to reflect on together this morning, and it comes from Romans chapter 2, verse 11, which simply says, God does not show favouritism. I wonder whether we show favouritism. We're kind of used to ranking things, aren't we, in order of importance. So, maybe you have a favourite food or a favourite restaurant or a favourite type of coffee or a favourite sports team that you follow, or a favourite place to go on holiday. And what we're saying is these things are more important than these other things, and that's okay. When you're going to a city around the world, or when you're going to have a cup of coffee, and if you're going to a favourite restaurant or to see your favourite film or any of those things, that's absolutely fine, isn't it? To kind of rank things in order of preference. I wonder if the same is true if I asked you, do you have a favourite child or a favourite sibling? Now, your answer to those things may be yes, I do. The difficulty, the danger then with that favouritism is, much like the other kind of favouritism, is that you're setting one thing above another. You're saying that this one thing has more inherent value than this other thing. And so when that's a cup of coffee or a city in the world, that's great. But when it's your children, what you're saying is that child is of more inherent value than this child, or this sibling is of more inherent value than this sibling, or this person in society is of more inherent value than this person in society. And that's where the challenge comes, isn't it? That's where the relational breakdowns come. And you see that in the scriptures, don't you? Probably see it most famously in the stories of Jacob and Isaac. So Isaac and Jacob and Esau, and then with Joseph and the others. So you've got Isaac, who has the two sons. He has Esau and he has Jacob. And Jacob is the favourite in that sense. He's his mother's favourite, and he ends up, that favouritism ends up causing a massive division amongst his family, to the point where he steals the inheritance of his brother, and then he has to flee into the desert through fear of his life. Fast forward to the time where Jacob has kids, and he has a favourite, doesn't he? He has a favourite, Joseph, and he dotes on Joseph, and he gives him his amazing technicoloured coat, and that doesn't work out too well for Joseph, who has the coat ripped off his back, and he's thrown into a well, and he's left for dead and then sold into slavery. And in the end, it all works out well for Joseph. But that favouritism, is an issue. And even if Jacob had to learn from that division that's caused by his favouritism towards Joseph, he then dotes even more. He doubles down on his favouritism to his youngest son, Benjamin, to the point where, they're prepared to sacrifice the life of one of the brothers to make sure that Benjamin doesn't get kept or brought into Egypt to meet Joseph. So there are lots of examples in the Bible of favouritism going wrong and it causing massive issues within family dynamics. And there may be some of you who are on the receiving end of that, who have maybe not been the favourite, and the pain that causes. There might be some of you who are listening who were the favourite, who are the favourite. And, if you reflect honestly, you can go, yeah, actually, I do think I'm treated differently. How does that make my siblings feel? It might be that you're a parent and you reflect and go, yeah, we do kind of consciously or subconsciously favour one child above another. The interesting thing about our passage is that Paul writes, God shows no favouritism. And the context of the passages is talking about people coming to faith, and how it's not based on the law, but it's based on faith in Jesus. And that, yes, the Jews were brought into faith, but also the Gentiles, the Greeks, were brought into faith because God has no favourites. Because, whilst God has a chosen people, a people that he called out from among all the peoples of the earth, it says, and the people of Israel, for a special purpose, he doesn't show favouritism in the sense that he doesn't value those people as higher than all other people, that he loves the world, doesn't it? Jesus said, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. And so if God doesn't show favouritism, but finds ways to value each individual uniquely, even with different purpose and different calling, so we too need to make sure we don't show favouritism, where we don't value one person above another, but that each person, particularly if you're a parent, I would say this is important, that you don't show favouritism to your kids. You might connect with your children differently. If you were to ask my mum, I think she would say that she connects with me differently to how she connects with my sister. And that's fine. That's personality, isn't it? There's different, things in life. But I would hope she would say that she loved us both equally, albeit in different ways. And I think that's fine. But, we need to be careful of the dangers that favouritism can play in our family dynamics, in our friendship groups, in our church as well. Are there people who are your favourites in the church? Are there people you value as higher than others? And how do you hold that in the context of a God who shows no favouritism? Some things to reflect on today, and I pray that as you do that, the Lord might bless you richly.